Hey there folks, this is Steve here again with another video every day in October. This is video number 7. I know I should be, paying attention to these, but I've just been focusing on other things as well. Been hanging with my friends, been joining calls with them, and just been a couple other things as well. But for this one, this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a little bit of a discussion one. One of my friends did one of these videos, and I figure I would do this and one of these videos, and this is a discussion video, and this is going to be about the 1990s. So I have a couple of my friends on here that are 90s kids and stuff that grew up in the 90s like me. I was born in 87. I'm a definite 90s kid for sure. Now, I don't have any Skype guests with me because the one who did this was Gary, who did have guests with him, but I don't have any with me, so I'm just doing it on my own to give my perspective and my opinion of the 1990s. Alright? So where do we even begin? Now, let's just start all the way. Let's just talk about what do we start with first? You got the movies, you got music, you got sports, you got events and stuff, things that happen as well, some sad things that happen and many others too. But, let's see what we will talk about. Let's probably do, well, you got the TV shows, and there's a stupid advertisement popping up on here because I just don't want to see it. Let's just probably do, let's start with TV shows, I guess, because there was a bunch of TV shows that I absolutely remember from the 1990s, and I absolutely did like to watch a lot or anything like that. When I would get up for school and stuff, I would watch a lot of cartoon shows. Some of these you may not have heard of, but some of these I did watch. One of them that was a definite TV show that I watched growing up as a kid was a TV show named Arthur. It was a TV show, it's still on actually to this day. It's actually, it may be one of the longest running shows on PBS right now, or whatever it is. It's PBS or MPT or anything like that. I'm trying to get the thing of it up. Where is it at? Here it is. Yeah, it's an animated TV series. It's been on since 1996, and it's still on to this day. Believe it or not. Now, as I said, that was one of my favorite shows growing up when I was a kid. I still do watch it occasionally to this day, but not the new episodes. Only the old episodes from season 1 and 2 and 3 and stuff, and a little bit of the later ones as well. Then came a little thing called Arthur's Perfect Christmas. Now, nobody's perfect and nothing is really perfect, but it was a thing where Arthur wanted to have the perfect Christmas, he calls it, and wanted to give his mom a great gift and stuff, and he did, but he wound up breaking it, unfortunately. And yeah, that's just something I'm just throwing out there. But then came the one episode of Arthur, I think that caused a lot of controversy and stuff. Maybe not exactly, but it just made it a little bit too violent, in my opinion, for this particular one. It was called Arthur's Big Hit. And if anybody remembers that episode, I'm trying to see which one it's from. It may have been season 3, I want to say. I think I know what episode it precedes, after that. I'm trying to, I know I'm going a little bit on with this, here it is. Yeah, it was season 4, actually, of season 4, episode 1. It was DW's, library card, and then Arthur's Big Hit. Arthur has his model airplane. It was aired September 6, 1999. He has this model airplane, and DW thinks it's like a toy or something, and winds up throwing it out the window and falls to the ground and breaks. And Arthur told her not to touch it. But DW, I didn't really give two shits about her because I didn't like her, because I don't like her character. I liked her maybe occasionally on some of them, but all the time she was a tease, not really one of the best. So Arthur just winds up getting mad at her and punches her in the arm. He makes a fist. You don't see him hit her, but she just falls to the ground. You hear a punch sound effect, and she falls down. And Arthur winds up getting punished because of what happened, and this episode was rated Y7, which is a thing they usually use like for anything that happens like that may be like too violent or something not suitable for kids, you know. But I remember seeing that, and I think I was like pretty much happy that Arthur did that. But yeah, that was one of them that I always watch, and if you remember that, please tell me what you thought of it. Another TV show that I will talk about is we're going to go now to Nickelodeon, and that is, of course, probably one of the most memorable 90s TV shows that kids absolutely loved. It lasted from 1991, as it says on here, to 2004, but later from a different show was entitled. And if I say this word, a baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do, you know what I'm talking about, and that is the Rugrats. The frickin' Rugrats. Now, for what to say about this, here's my perspective of the Rugrats. I loved this show when I was growing up, but one particular character that I did not care for in the show, and that is, of course, Angelica. And why, you may ask, why I didn't like Angelica? Because Angelica was a frickin' brat. She wanted everything that she wanted. She wanted toys, she wanted to be a princess or a queen, anything like that, and everybody to like bow down to her. That's all she wanted. But she was demanding and a brat. E.G. Daly, who's the voice of Tommy Pickles, the main character of the show. Then you also had more. You had Chucky Finster, who was voiced by Christine Cavanaugh, I think it's pronounced. Not sure exactly, like, I think I'm getting somebody mixed up with, I'm thinking of like somebody that does the voice of Bart Simpson. I think that's the wrong person. The person who, yeah, it's Nancy Cartwright. Yeah, but I thought like, yeah, pretty much she didn't. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused a little bit. Anyway, yeah, she was the voice of Chucky, and E.G. Daly, who was also did some other things as well, was actually pretty nice looking. I didn't really know, that Tommy was voiced by a girl. And I know Chucky was voiced by a girl. Then you have Phil and Lil, or Philip and Lillian DeVille. They're friends. They are twin boys and girls. And every time they get, like, into an argument or something, like, one of them would go, like, I'm trying to think of, like, something they did from an episode I may remember. I can only remember one, but I'm trying to think of another. Well, for example, like, if they said, like, well, maybe if they came back, they would know how to play the game right, Philip. Or, his dad wasn't eating ketchup, Lillian. Yeah, that's just another one that, they were pretty funny as well, but they also like to have a weird habit, like they would eat bugs or anything, or insects, pretty gross stuff as well. Some of it was just not all that to me. Then, of course, Angelica, voiced by Cheryl Chase. Then you had more characters were added. You had Susie Carmichael, an across-the-street neighbor with a mom and dad as well, and with a brother and sister, I believe. Then, later added to the show, later in the season, like in 1998, I want to say, or 97, Dill Pickles, or Dylan Pickles. He appeared in the Rugrats movie, which I did see in theaters once before, and I also saw Rugrats in Paris as well. Then came the third movie, the Rugrats Go Wild, or when they meet the Wild Thornberrys. That one sucked. I didn't really see it, but the ratings were bad and stuff, but I stopped watching them after that. But the Rugrats movie was okay. Didn't really care for it a whole lot. Yeah, it's a Rugrats Go Wild, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it. But like I said, the movie was okay, but when they added Dill to the show, it kind of ruined it. Because some people will say that on there, that it pretty much did ruin it. It was voiced by Tara Dill was voiced by Tara Strong. Then you have Kimmy Fenster, who was Chucky's little sister, because Chucky did not have a mom. Well, he did have a mom, but she wound up passing away from cancer or something like that. And then they aired an episode of the Rugrats, and it was a pretty emotional episode. It was a Mother's Day episode, and near the end of the show, I just have to say this: Chucky winds up finding a picture of his mother and his dad, whose name is Chaz or Charles. Winds up showing the picture to him and like saying about his mom, and that was really emotional. Then at the end of it, when it ends, you can hear her talking, like saying a word to Chucky, and that was a tearjerker right there. And that was probably one of the most. I'm getting choked up now just thinking about it, but sorry. But that was probably one of the most emotional episodes ever, in my opinion. Yeah, but when Kimmy Finster was added, she would wind up being Chucky's sister from Japan when they went, well, for Paris, or, well, it's Japanese actually, it's Asian. Would wind up being Chucky's sister from the Rugrats in Paris when Charles would marry the woman, I forget her name, I think it was, I don't remember it, and of course the dog Spike, who wasn't voiced by anybody, well, was voiced by a person, but in the movie, Bruce Willis does his voice and he talks for the first time, apparently. Yep. Alright, now we'll move on to like the adult characters. You had Stu Pickles, the dad, who was the inventor. Now, he was pretty funny and stuff, but he had purple hair. I mean, what exactly was up with purple hair? I mean, that was strange and stuff, but all the stuff he did, like he invented crazy things, I thought he was pretty cool. Then, of course, there was Dee Dee Pickles, the mom of Tommy, and Stu is, of course, the dad of Tommy. I did not like Dee Dee at all. I mean, she was freaky. She had orange hair. She looked like a carrot. And green glasses. And I just didn't really like her that much. She appeared once on a game show called Game Show Dee Dee, I believe. And it was called Super Stumpers, I think. And the guy that was the game show was Alex Trebek. But of course they have to hide their name and stuff, just because they don't want to give away their real names, apparently. Then, of course, one of my favorite characters, adult characters, is the Grandpa Lou. He was voiced by David Doyle from 1991 until he passed away, unfortunately, in 1997, and Joe Alasky from 1997, and then the series end. But he was very funny. Then Drew Pickles, the father of Angelica. Always calling like Angelica Princess. Didn't really care that much for him. Charlotte Pickles, the mother of Angelica, who was a CEO of something, and always talking on her cell phone to Jonathan. Her, whoever this is, like her helper or whatever. Not her boss, I don't think. Maybe her boss. You're a co-worker, that's it. Yeah, I haven't seen the show in a while, but anyway. Betty DeVille, the mother of Phil and Lil, and Chaz, the father of Chucky, I'm sorry. And Kira, that's the mother who later married him. And Howard, Lucy Carmichael as well, and Randy, and them. And I don't know who this is. But anyway, that's just basically the rest of it. Now, you know, on a lot of their episodes they had as well, like, they had, like, some holiday episodes are pretty good, like their Christmas episode was very good. They did a Hanukkah one. I don't know if they did Thanksgiving. I thought they did, but I don't really know. But yeah, like I said, that was one of my favorite shows growing up when I was a kid watching the Rugrats. Yeah, I know some people may not have been a fan of them, but you know, they were the bomb for a lot of people. And then came the remake, which was, or the spin-off, and that was Rugrats All Grown Up, or All Grown Up, where they made, excuse me, the Rugrats grown-ups. Well, not exactly teenagers, actually, but, you know, same characters as well, and somehow their dog Spike is still with them and stuff. It's like maybe 10 years later, more than that, maybe. Yeah, and it really just went nowhere with that. It really just stunk. It did. So there you go for the Rugrats. Now, let's just go to all the other Nickelodeon shows. As you know, I loved Nickelodeon as a kid, and this is going to be a long video. I can tell it really is. See how much time up to, we'll stop right here.